Okay, guys, let's take a look at this example. So here we have to get a little bit more detailed in terms of the income and expenses. Okay, so the first part is the same. We're just adding up Heather's paycheck and her part-time job, and that would be her total monthly income. So just to make sure, we're just adding these two. Okay. For the monthly expenses, here's what we're gonna do. So I will type all of her expenses in a table. I'll call this A for amount, but I'm actually not gonna type her entertainment. So I'm gonna type everything else besides her entertainment because that's the only thing that's what's called a want. Because everything else she really needs. So I'm just skipping the entertainment. And if I total that, that would give me her needs. So that actually goes in here. And then the wants is just entertainment. So whatever this is, that goes in here. So then when we add these two, that'll give us the total wants and needs, which means her total expenses. So we're just going to add them up. And that goes in here. And then the extra difference, like the difference between them, that would be the excess income. So the difference between the total monthly income and the monthly expenses, that's going to be that last blank there. And then we'll come back to part B and do that. Okay, so we've got that in here. So she's in the plus. So her income is larger, which is good. Okay, now we're going to talk about the 50-30-20 rule. So this is something that they recommend doing. It does not usually work in practice. Almost nobody can actually only spend 50% of their check on the needs and 30% on the wants and only 20% on savings. Most of the time the needs are much more than that. At least most people I know, nobody can survive just the needs for 50% unless you're like rich. But so what I want you to understand is the way this works is it's the percentage of her income. So this is saying 50% of her income is supposed to be her needs. Whether it's realistic or not is out of the question here. We'll just say, okay, what is 50% of her income? So 50% is 0.5, right? Multiplied by her income. And we need to round that to 2 decimal places. So let's do that. Okay, so that goes in here. Then 30% supposed to be on her wants. Again, not that many people can do that. Like 30% on your wants, that's a lot of money to just blow for nothing, especially if you have loans, credit cards. Oh. And no, that's a no right there. And then the rest is the 20%. So let's change that to 20. That's supposed to be like extra savings, like retirement or paying maybe a little bit more on the credit card. So that would be it. And then when we compare the needs, the actual needs here with comparing with what that 50-30-20 rule saying, it's nothing even close. So disregard that, doesn't work.